Welcome to Thank God You're Not My Child. Remember, it's a comedy podcast where I talk about whatever I want to. And this week, I want to talk about what if. Mm-hmm. What if Jesus is real? Okay, I know he's real. Okay? I have seen God throughout my whole life. I've seen them lead me when I was little. I had my real father. I don't think he was ever really a dad. I remember once he showed up with a big box of toys and stuff just out of the blue. I don't even know if it was for Christmas, but I remember asking my mom and my stepdad, why does he do that? And I overthought it like, well, why does he do that? Because he barely calls. He doesn't do anything. He barely gives mom any money. And I just didn't oversleep. I overthought it. And then I thought maybe it's because he does love us. But I didn't see a whole lot of love, of God fruit from him. So over the years, overthinking this, I think he loved me in a way because he knew about me. We talked sometimes. I did not have a reason to madly fall in love with my real dad, but I did know that I was here because of him. So I thought it all the time. And I thought, what could I have done different? There was nothing I could have done different. It's just like I was married for 32 years and I was with this man for 34. When he filed for divorce, that was one of the hardest things I've ever done. And that was our second divorce. So, but I really thought when we got back together that I was not going to overthink things, that it was going to be enough. And we had both changed and we were different people when we got back together. But I can't control what he thinks and does. And I can tell you from my experience, I controlled way too much in that marriage. And year after year, and then being single, there was no reason for me to think of things that he'd done because I was divorced because of me. So I overthought a lot. And then I got depressed because I was always overthinking, what did I do wrong? Why did I do that? Why did he want to do this? Why did I always have to do this? Too much overthinking. So I had to get on my knees to Jesus, to God. And I had to stop overthinking the things that I'd done. I had to take them, I had to lay them down, and I had to ask for forgiveness for this. And once I did this, my overthinking for that just left. So that's what I'm asking is what if? What if that's what you need to do? What if you need to just get on your knees? Jesus, he's here. What if our overthinking is just really laying it down? But years ago, I laid down that with God from my real dad. And he, in certain ways, told me to just love him. Love him. He didn't tell me to overthink why he did things, why he didn't do things. Yeah, he left us. He left a lot of kids. He had a lot of kids, and he left them. He was not always around any of us. But I can't overthink what he didn't do. I need to respect and love what he did do. Do I love him? Absolutely, I do love him. Then it goes to overthinking. If I overthink everything I did in my marriage and I did this, he did this, I was never going to get over anything. And then I was probably going to carry it into the next relationship because that's all I'm overthinking it. So I had to take that stuff and lay that down. And when I did that, whew, and then I got really sad because the friendship I had with my ex, it was important and I overthought things and I have no relationship with him now. The relationship I have with him now is remembering the good memories. We have 2 great kids together. We have thousands of good memories. It'll just make you laugh. And I hope he's forgiven me completely. I've forgiven him for anything that he might have done, because there's always 2 wrongs. I just love him. I love him now. Do I love him like a wife would? No. I love him like someone that was with him forever. We have 2 kids together, so if I overthink this, all I'm gonna remember is shit I did wrong or shit he did wrong. I don't wanna do that. So I laid it down. So what if? What if you lay all of your stuff down? Just, here it is. And then we stop overthinking it. When you lay it down, you're still gonna overthink sometimes. Just let me tell you, I overthink and I have to go back. There are times when the shame comes in for things that I did, and I have to go back to God like, "Okay, I gave it to you, come on. You are going to hand this stuff over." Many times sometimes. At first, with my dad, I was young and those emotions, and it was constantly laying down, but by time I graduated high school and he came to my graduation, I'd had my son, and it meant a lot that he was there. I didn't expect much for him, but what he did do, I loved him for. And that was the bottom line. Did we have a father-daughter relationship? But I loved him. I have a little brother that I was raised with, and I love that man. Oh, he is my littlest brother. He is really a good man. I know he is. But he's having some major problems now. And I can't overthink everything he's saying because he goes from here to here to here to here to here to here and it hurts my heart. So I have to lay it all down. Okay, God. Okay, God, what do you want me to do? He wants me to just love him. I don't expect anything from him. He chooses to be homeless. I have helped money before and everything. And eventually you have to hit the point to where my biggest help I do for him is pray for him and love him unconditionally. He has said some horrible things, even things that he says that I've done and I know I didn't do. I'm not gonna lie. You wanna know what I've done? I'll tell you. I'll tell you the things that I've done and ask for forgiveness for. I'm not ashamed of them. Sometimes the shame comes back, but that's there to remind me to follow God and not do these things. So what if? What if you stop overtaking and take that to God? What's gonna happen? I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. Things become clearer. It's like even the things I own, I have a lot of cool stuff. You see my cool stuff? My cool stuff? But you know what? It's stuff. I don't need that stuff. I need God. Of course, I am definitely not a holier than now. You understand? But it all comes down to unconditional love. If he loves us like that and gives us grace, we need to give other people grace. I don't expect, if I've hurt people, for them to you've gotta have boundaries, and that's okay because I have boundaries with people. I have a couple of friends that knew everything about me, and they couldn't stay around me through my difficult times, and I still love them. Love them with all of my heart. I do, and I love those memories. But you're not coming back. Because whenever I was having the hardest time and I was having a hard time and I was having to get on my knees and I'm having to go to God and I'm like, oh my gosh, God, I don't have money to buy milk, but I'm working 12 hours a day. What can I sell? It was everything. And I had to go to God, and he was the only one that could help me for a while. I had sister-like friends just dropping like flies because of divorce. And it was hard. that you know what? The love will overtake. Just stop overthinking. Just stop overthinking. Do I love them with all of my heart? Doesn't mean I have to let them back in. So what if we stopped overthinking? You know you overthink, you overthinker. I take a fine line between planning and overthinking. Sometimes I just have to go, nope. And that's the benefit I have since I don't have a daycare anymore. Because with daycare, or if you're a teacher, or if you're working, that fast paced job, you have to constantly have your mind thinking. You understand? And now it's so quiet. I have no paperwork to do. It's just like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, let's not overthink things. Don't overthink why people don't call me. They're working. Don't overthink why people just don't wave when they drive by me on the side of the road because I live in a small town and they really shouldn't wave at me. You understand? So that's what we're going to do. What does God want? He wants us to love all. God wants us to love all. He does. And I have a big problem with that. That's where I've started overthinking. Because if people are doing demon-like things, I'm not sure I'm supposed to like that. So how do you love the person without liking what they do? I don't know. There's some evil people in this world that I definitely have no love for. Then it makes me think, if we're overthinking, that means we're thinking about that all the time. Do you understand? You understand? So whenever I started researching overthinking, it basically means that you're constantly overthinking that. And if you're overthinking the same thing every day, that to me is kind of a worshiping type. So I started thinking about that. If I'm constantly worried about or overthinking about, let's just say it, politics, okay? And every day I wake up to see who's doing what, who's doing that, and I'm constantly going, oh, he shouldn't be doing that. Oh my God, he shouldn't be doing that. Oh, he shouldn't be doing that. Oh, he shouldn't be doing that. And you're only focusing on that. I think that's kind of an idol. I said it. I said what I said. What you focus on is your idol. And at one time, I think I focused on daycare all the time. And it, I think, took over some. That was some of the problem with my marriage. I was so far into that, I couldn't see a whole lot. In fact, I just told my husband this morning, we were talking, and I was like, I lived in daycare land so much. Like, that's how much, this right here, daycare, church, daycare, church. What about those long friendships? Just because I don't see you doesn't mean that we're not friends. But when I stopped reaching out, guess what? I had some of them stop reaching out. And then I thought, well, Lord have mercy. I guess I was the only one having this friendship. I started overthinking it. I started overthinking it. And then I realized I'm retired. I have all of the time in the world, and they don't. Well, geez. Talking about overthinking and making everything about me, me, me. It's hard to do when we have me, me, me. So I've had to learn to shut my mouth some. I've had to learn how to maybe wait. I've had to learn how to, when something, makes me uneven and start overthinking and stressing about it, and you're like, "Ugh," and you can see it coming. I have to get to the point to where I'm like, nope, I need to take some time. I need to pray about this. And I learned that whenever I said that and I took it to prayer, that's what happened. He'll just stop the overthinking. It's crazy. It's crazy. If you go and you say, "Help me. I don't want to do this," he will. So what if? What if you finally decide to let God have it all? Stop overthinking. It hurts. It hurts sometimes to tell people, "Oh, well, I'm gonna pray about that." And I've talked about that on another episode that if I say I'm gonna, you can bet I'm gonna. And I've started to the point to where maybe it needs to be done right then. And that's okay. If somebody comes on my mind, I just pray for them. Even if it's something that's hurtful, like I've got a couple of people on my mind right now because there's some things that's been hurtful, but I have to take those emotions and feelings and let God have it and pray about it because you know what? It's not that big a deal. But when you overthink about something, it becomes bigger. That's the bottom line. Overthinking about things makes it bigger. You think about it, you think about it, you think about it, and it just gets bigger. So I'm going to challenge you. What are you thinking about every day? Are you getting up thinking about some politics every day? You turning on the TV to watch the news every day? Because I'm just telling you, if that's what you're putting in your life every day, that's what you're going to get out of it. You understand? What if you turn that TV off? What if you did that? What if you put some music on that? Good music. TV instead of news. That music instead of news is going to change your whole day. So what if we just stopped overthinking about this stuff? What if we took it to God? Anytime I take my emotions and my feelings to God, he helps with it. And he helps me with unconditional love. I love my stepdad, even though I know there's some things that he's done that's wrong. And you know what? It's not my place. Am I going to allow him back here to hurt me more? No. But I'm going to pray for him and I'm going to love everything good that he's ever done. And that's what I'm going to do. My real dad, do I love him? Absolutely, I do. I have friends I love to death. When you start letting God control your emotions and your overthinking stops, I'm just going to tell you right now the peace that you can have when you're not overthinking about the things of this world. The peace you can have when you just sit and listen to a bird. You might be able to hear that one. The peace you have when you go, you know what? God's got this. God's got this. I know the end story. It's going to get ugly until the end story. You guys need to hold on, buttercups. But you know what? Only God. Only through Jesus Christ can you get this stuff worked out. If you're following the world, it's not going to happen. If you want to overthink about something, go read your Bible and overthink about that Bible. Read those Bible verses. Because the more I get into the Word, the calmer my life gets. Did you hear that? The more I get into the Word, the calmer my life gets. Do things still happen? Absolutely. We have up on the Flutie, which is what we just moved out of, because I live on a family compound, if you don't know. And my in-laws are going to be moving in that. We have some stuff we got to do. We need to put new floors down, and there's a water leak. So we got to get that done. And then the one they're living in, we're going to move my stepson into, and we're not even going to discuss the work he's got to do, but he got to do some work. And there's things all over that need to be worked on, thought about, not overthinking about, but thought about. But the bottom line, God's in control. Anything that happens is because we trust Him. So, yeah. So, have you laid it all down in front of God? Have you? Have you laid your spending in front of God? Because I had to do that once because I like to spend money. I don't now. I just bought a clearanced double ball opening a blind box, and it was the food making ones. And the reason I bought it was I only didn't have any, so it didn't matter what it was. And it was a double one for $10. So it was 5 a piece. So it was half price. But I won't buy another one because I might get a repeat. But that first one, I wasn't going to get a repeat. You understand? But before, I would have probably ordered any of them I wanted. I'd have probably opened. I'd have been those women that are on TikTok opening ball after ball after ball after ball after ball. You get it? But you know what? God does not want me to waste my money like that. He doesn't want me. He just doesn't. He just doesn't. And I think if a lot of people would lay their money in front of God, you're going to find out He might not want you to be paying that expensive car payment. He might not want you to be eating out that much. There's so many things we do with our money, and it just leaves. So let's check ourselves. Remember, what if? What if you lay that down in front of God? Why aren't you trying? Let God have it all. Because when He has it all, it sure gets quiet. I know. He's always there. He's always there. So when something goes wrong in my little, because I've had that moment, He's there. So I'm challenging everybody. Lay that thing you're overthinking down. Lay it down. Lay those nasty politics down. Pray for everybody. Lay your finances down. Lay your marriage down. Some of my overthinking and my emotions is what ended up with me divorced. And because I challenged myself and I laid it all down with God, I got a second chance with my husband. And do you know how I'm going to mess that up? Letting my feelings and emotion control my actions. Not anymore. I just love him, and he gives me everything I need. And that's where we're going to stick. I'm not going to let my emotions, my feelings control anything. It's hard. It's hard when I want to talk to someone and they want to answer their phone. It's hard when I miss my grandkids and I just want to go see them. It's hard when my sister, I think needs me right now, and it's hard not being there. But I can pray. Yeah. So that's what it was. So I want you to email me what you laid down in front of God. I want to see some emails. I want to see how it turns out and how it comes off of your mind and you stop overthinking. I want to hear the good things that come out of it. Okay? All right. I think I've rambled enough. I'm going to get this one done and out there, and we'll get back on track. Uh, it was worth being late because I got to spend the night with my Aunt Loretta and my mom and my sister. I had to sleep with my sister again. It was good. She didn't sleep much, but it was so fun. So, until next time, thank God you're not my child.